You ever sit there staring at your phone, trying to act like you're busy, but in reality, you're just waiting for her reply? You sent a message, maybe something playful, maybe something thoughtful. You gave her your attention, your energy, and now nothing. She's online. She's active. You see her posting selfies, replying to comments, dropping LOL on her friend's story. But your message still left on read, and it hits you like a punch you didn't see coming. At first, you play it cool. You think she's probably just busy. Shall reply soon. Hours go by, then a whole day, then 2, still nothing. That's when your mind starts spinning. Did I say something wrong? Was I too direct? Too available? You scroll back through the convo like a detective looking for clues, trying to decode a silence that's eating you alive. That silence is louder than words. And here's the worst part. You start turning against yourself. You start shrinking, dimming your light, blaming your vibe. You question your confidence, your worth, your instinct. But I need you to hit pause. Because what if I told you this moment, this uncomfortable silence you're drowning in, is actually the greatest opportunity you've ever had? What if her ignoring you has nothing to do with you? See, here's the truth no one tells you. She's not ignoring you, she's testing you, consciously or not. Women test men emotionally, not with words, not with drama, but with space, with distance, with silence. It's how they check your centre of gravity. It's how they see what kind of man you really are. And here's the part most guys never figure out. The test isn't about getting her back. It's about not needing her back. Because real power, the kind that women feel in their core, isn't loud. It's quiet. It's still. It's unshaken. And that's exactly what today's about. In this video, I'm going to hand you the mindset that flips everything. The kind of perspective that makes ghosting irrelevant. That turns being ignored into fuel. That transforms you into the one thing women and the world can't resist: a man who needs nothing. A man who stays grounded no matter what. This isn't pick-up advice. This isn't game. This is Stoicism, the art of emotional control forged in fire. Now you might be asking, why does this matter so much? Because the way you handle her silence reveals everything. Most men panic. They double text. They send essays. Or worse, they get bitter, angry, emotional. And the moment that happens, they give up all their power. Not just with her, but with themselves. Because every time you attach your value to someone else's response, you lose. You become a puppet dancing for attention. But when you step back, when you detach emotionally, stay calm, and continue living with purpose, you flip the dynamic. You move from, why hasn't she texted me, to why am I wasting energy on someone who's not showing up? That's the flip. That's the power. See, in Stoic philosophy, there's one foundational idea. You cannot control what other people do. You can only control how you respond. And once you truly understand that everything changes, her ghosting doesn't shake you. Her silence doesn't sting. Because you realise it's not your responsibility to manage her behaviour. It's your responsibility to manage your reaction to it. Let me paint the picture. You're in the middle of building your business. You're making gains in the gym. You're locked in with your purpose. She disappears from your inbox. Cool. So what? You don't flinch. You don't even notice because you're too focused on becoming who you're meant to be. And you know what's funny? That's exactly when she starts texting again. Why? Because women don't chase men who chase them. They chase men who are chasing something bigger. So from this moment forward, this is your mindset. I don't chase. I attract by being in control of myself. And if she wants to fall off, that's her choice. You keep moving forward, because this isn't about one girl. This is about the man you become every time life throws silence at you. So buckle up, because this is your blueprint. We're about to break down why she ignores you and why it's never personal. How to regain emotional control when your mind wants to spiral. And how to carry yourself with quiet magnetic power in every interaction. No games, no manipulation, just grounded, bulletproof confidence. You ready? Let's dive in. Why she's ignoring you and why it doesn't matter. Let's get something straight right now. Her silence does not define you. I know it feels personal. I know it feels like a rejection, like a slap in the face. You were building momentum. You thought there was connection chemistry. Maybe she even said things like, "You're different," or "I really enjoy talking to you." And then, boom, vanished. You replay the last conversation like it's a crime scene. Did I come on too strong? Should I have waited longer before texting back? Did I ruin it? Let me stop you there, because 9 times out of 10, her silence has absolutely nothing to do with you. Here's the truth. In the modern dating world, people ghost for reasons that have nothing to do with logic or fairness. Maybe she got overwhelmed. Maybe her ex popped back into the picture. Maybe she's just using dating apps for attention, not connection. Maybe she's juggling 5 conversations and you weren't the loudest voice in the room. Or maybe, just maybe, she was interested but didn't know how to handle someone real. You know what all those have in common. They're out of your control. And this is where most guys lose themselves. They take a woman's silence as a verdict. Not enough. But it's not a verdict. It's noise. And noise doesn't deserve your peace. Because here's what really matters. Not her actions, but your response. That's where your power lives. You see, when you obsess over why she's ignoring you, you hand over your emotional steering wheel. You place your self-worth in her hands. And when she doesn't respond, it crushes you. That is emotional slavery. And it's time to break free. Let me tell you what Stoicism teaches us. What men like Marcus Aurelius lived by. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. That's the move. She can ghost you. She can post selfies. She can flirt with someone else. But she cannot touch your peace. Not unless you give her permission. And why would you allow someone who barely knows you, someone who might not even know what they want, to have control over your mood, your day, your momentum? You're better than that. You're stronger than that. So let's flip the script. Let's stop asking why she's ignoring you and start asking what you'll do with the silence. Because here's where you win. Every time someone ignores you, you're given a test. Do you chase or do you choose yourself? Chasing looks like double texting, overanalyzing, stalking her Instagram. Choosing yourself looks like closing the app and opening the gym door. Chasing looks like wondering what you did wrong. Choosing yourself looks like asking, what can I do right for myself today? Chasing says, I need her to validate me. Choosing yourself says, I'm already valuable, with or without a reply. That is Stoic power. Let me give you a real example. Imagine 2 men. Both of them are texting the same girl. Both get ignored for 48 hours. Guy A, he spirals, checks his phone 30 times an hour, sends a follow-up, gets no reply, sends another text something passive-aggressive like, guess you're busy, LOL, then feels shame, starts doubting his self-worth. Guy B notices the silence, feels it, acknowledges it, then goes for a run, crushes a workout, calls a friend, finishes a project. By the time she texts back 3 days later, he's already moved past needing a reply. Who wins? Who's more attractive? Not just to her, but to life itself. Guy every time. Because people sense your energy. They feel whether you're centered or spiraling, whether you need something or you're just present. And presence is power. So when she ignores you, let her. Seriously, let her. Don't try to win her back. Don't try to decode the silence. Because you're not here to be chosen. You're here to choose yourself. Every damn day. You're not here to beg for crumbs of attention. You're here to build a life so rich, so full, so magnetic, that anyone who steps away feels the gravity of what they just lost. So next time you get ghosted, pause, breathe, smile, and say to yourself, her silence is not a threat, it's a mirror. And what I choose to see in that mirror is strength. Because when you stop reacting, you start rising. When you stop chasing, you start choosing. And when you stop asking why she pulled away, you start remembering where you're going. And brother, where you're going. It's way more important than who decided to stop texting. Control what you can. How doing nothing is power. Let me ask you a question. When a woman ignores you, what's the first thing you feel like doing? Texting again? Asking what's wrong? Trying to fix it? That's the impulse, right? That urge to do something, to take action, to regain control. But here's the twist. Real control doesn't come from doing more. It comes from knowing when to do nothing. And that's what most men never learn. See, we've been trained to believe that action equals power, that the way to solve discomfort is to move, to say something, to chase, to clarify. But Stoicism flips that logic upside down, because sometimes not acting is the most powerful act of all. Let me break it down. In Stoic philosophy, life is split into two categories. 1. What you can control. 2. What you can't. Simple, but life-changing. What can you control? Your actions, your thoughts, your emotional responses, your focus, your standards. What can't you control? Her replies, her interest level, her emotional maturity, her decision to ghost you, her ability to communicate like an adult. And yet, when most men get ignored, where do they pour all their energy into trying to control what they can't? They beg, they complain, they spiral, they start treating her response like it's oxygen. But when you do that, you give her the power. You make her the gatekeeper of your peace, your confidence, your emotional state. And that's not just weak, it's dangerous. Because the second your inner world depends on someone else's outer actions, you're no longer the author of your life. You've become a character in her story. So how do you flip that? You practice the art of doing nothing. And let me be clear, this isn't passive. This isn't avoidance. This isn't playing hard to get. This is deliberate. This is grounded. This is you saying, I don't chase confusion. I don't argue with silence. I don't respond to games. I return to my power. Because silence doesn't require a reaction. It requires reflection. So next time she pulls away, don't reach out. Don't double text. Don't call. Don't even scroll her social media. Do nothing. Why? Because doing nothing shows you're unbothered. And unbothered men are dangerous in the best possible way. Unbothered men are calm in chaos. They don't seek validation, they generate it from within. They're not addicted to reaction, they're committed to purpose. Think about it. When was the last time you ignored someone and they chased you? Did it make you respect them more or less? Desperation repels. Stillness attracts. Let me give you a scenario. Let's say you went on a date. It went well. You had great chemistry. She laughed. You walked her to her car. She said, text me when you get home. You text her. She replies short and dry, then fades. Now your mind is racing. Did I read that wrong? I thought we had a connection. You want answers, but here's the truth. You don't need answers. You need standards. So what do? You don't send another message trying to rekindle the vibe. You don't ask her if everything's okay. You don't wait around hoping she circles back. You do nothing. And instead, you hit the gym. You finish your work. You book a trip. You go live your damn life. And what happens? Maybe she comes back. Maybe she doesn't. But you've already won because you didn't break your character just to keep hers around. That's the win. Because here's the deeper truth. Most people aren't used to being ignored back. When you don't react, they notice. They wonder. They start questioning. They feel the shift. Because silence from a grounded man hits different. It's not petty. It's not manipulative. It's sovereign. It says, you don't get to shake my spirit just because you disappeared. And if she comes back, you decide from a place of strength whether she's still aligned with your standards, not from a place of desperation. Now, let me make one thing very clear. Doing nothing is not the same as suppressing emotion. You can feel disappointed. You can feel confused. You can feel hurt. But you don't act from that place. You don't let that emotion drive your behaviour. You let it pass through. You let it teach you. Then you move forward with dignity. That's Stoicism in action. You don't deny the storm. You become the calm within it. And if she never texts back, so what? You've already won. Because you stayed in your lane. You honoured your values. You kept your frame. And that frame, that's your empire. It's the way you hold yourself. It's the way you protect your energy. It's the way you refuse to crumble under temporary discomfort. So the next time you're tempted to chase daunt, do nothing. Breathe. Shift the focus from her to you and ask, what can I build today? What can I improve? What's still in my control? Because guess what? Your goals are still in your control. Your body, your business, your mindset. That book you haven't finished. That podcast you've been meaning to start. That idea that's been on the shelf for too long. All of it is waiting. But it only comes alive when you stop pouring your energy into people who stopped pouring into you. So let her ignore you. Let the world go quiet. And in that silence, choose stillness over neediness. Choose purpose over panic. Choose power over reaction. That's how kings move. Shift the focus back to you, how to build your value during silence. So you've been ignored. She hasn't texted back. The conversation went cold. Maybe it stings. Maybe it frustrates you. But now that the dust has settled, the question becomes, what are you going to do with that silence? Let me tell you what most men do. They sit in it. They drown in overthinking. They replay every message. They scroll her Instagram, trying to decode her life from filtered selfies. They wait. They hope. They stall. But you're not most men, because now you know the truth. Her silence is not a wall, it's a mirror. And what you see in that mirror is up to you. See moments like these. They're not punishments. They're invitations. They're a door being opened, not slammed shut. It's life whispering to you. Now is the time to turn the spotlight back inward. Build, grow, level up. Because this is your window. This is your chance to reclaim your mental real estate and reinvest it where it belongs, in you. So how do you do that? How do you take the energy you were giving her and redirect it into something that actually fuels your power? You build your value, not to win her back, not to show her what she missed, but because you owe it to yourself to stop showing up at 70% when you were built for 100. Let's break this into 4 dimensions. 1. Physical value. Build the body that backs the mind. Let's start with the obvious, your physical presence. When your mind is spiraling, your body becomes the anchor. So hit the gym. And I mean, really hit it. Don't go there to escape her. Go there to reconnect with you. Every rep is a reminder you are in control. You are disciplined. You are getting stronger. There's something spiritual about seeing your body transform while the world is quiet. And here's the bonus. The stronger you become physically, the quieter your insecurities get. You walk taller, you speak slower, you carry presence. And when she or anyone else sees you again, it's not the same version they left. It's the upgraded one. 2. Mental value. Fortify your mind against rejection. Silence has a way of echoing in your mind. It can make you question everything. So train your thoughts like you train your muscles. Read, learn, listen to people who've been through the fire and came out stronger. Start with these questions. What thoughts are running on autopilot right now? Are they building me or breaking me down? What new beliefs do I want to install? Then install them. Turn off Netflix, open a book, take a course, write your thoughts, meditate, even if it's just 5 minutes a day, because your mind is a battleground, and in moments of silence, the untrained mind will always default to chaos. But a trained mind, a mind that's rooted, calm, aware, that mind turns rejection into revelation. 3. Financial value. Build the life that doesn't wait. Here's a cold truth. If you have time to obsess over someone who isn't responding, you're underworking somewhere else in your life. And the first place to look is your wallet. Are you building? Are you investing? Are you planting seeds that will feed your future? Silence is a gift. It frees up bandwidth. So use that bandwidth, launch that side hustle. Double down on your business. Pick up the skill that will make you recession-proof. Build income streams that no one can ghost, because when you're financially strong, rejection doesn't sting the same. You don't chase anyone, you choose. You don't beg for attention, you attract through value. And let's be honest, nothing is more magnetic than a man who's in his bag, focused, unfazed, and unavailable to drama. 4. Emotional and social value reconnect with real ones. When one person pulls away, it's easy to act like they were your only source of connection, but that's a lie your emotions want you to believe. So flip it. Use the silence to reconnect with yourself and with people who actually care. Call your boys, spend time with family, rebuild your social circle with people who inspire, challenge and elevate you. Go out not to prove anything but to feel alive. Laugh, debate, connect. Remind yourself I was whole before she came along and am still whole now. The more connected you are to your real support system, the less weight one person's distance carries. The end game. You become magnetic without trying. Here's what happens when you do all this. You stop chasing and start ascending. You stop reacting and start radiating. You stop waiting and start building. And the more you build, the more obvious it becomes. She was never the main character in your story. You were. Now, maybe one day she sees the version of you that rose from her silence. Maybe she comes back. Maybe she doesn't. But by that point, it won't matter. Because by then, you'll be too locked in, too evolved, too deeply connected to your purpose to ever seek external validation again. You'll look back and think, thank you for not replying. Because if you had, I might never have unlocked this version of me. That's the power of silence when you choose to turn it inward. So from now on, make a promise to yourself. Every time someone pulls away, I will pull inward. And when I return stronger, sharper, and more sovereign than ever. That's how you shift the focus. That's how you take back your power. That's how you become untouchable. Use reverse psychology. How letting go triggers attraction. Let me ask you something deep, and I want you to be honest. Have you ever wanted someone more right after they stopped caring? Maybe they pulled away, got quiet, and instead of you pulling back, you leaned in harder. You started overthinking, chasing, wondering. Now ask yourself, why does that happen? Here's the answer. Because scarcity creates desire. And the moment you feel someone slipping away, your mind starts assigning them more value. It's not just emotional, it is psychological. It's human nature. We crave what's uncertain. We want what's just out of reach. We assign more value to what doesn't need us. And guess what? That's exactly how reverse psychology works. But let's be clear, this isn't about playing games. This isn't about manipulating her. This is about flipping your mindset from needy to neutral, from reactive to refined. It's about learning the subtle art of letting go and letting her notice. Step 1. Let go without bitterness. Most guys think ignoring her back means being cold, acting hurt, posting cryptic stories, or passive-aggressive memes. That's not letting go, that's begging for attention in disguise. True letting go is silent, it's graceful, it's powerful. It's you saying I'm not angry, I'm just focused, I'm not punishing you, I'm prioritising me. You don't reach out, you don't question her silence, you don't even bring her up. Because silence from a man with options doesn't feel like revenge, it feels like elevation. And that shift, that peaceful indifference, it's intoxicating. Step 2. Stop feeding the algorithm of attention. When you chase her while she's ignoring you, you reward the very behaviour you don't want. Think about it. She goes silent, you double text. She ghosts, you check her story. She gives you breadcrumbs and you eat them. What does that tell her, subconscious? That you're always available, that your attention is easy, that she doesn't need to do anything to earn your energy. But when you stop, when you pull your energy back, you break the algorithm, you remove the stimulus. And without stimulus, guess what? People get curious. They start asking, why isn't he reacting? Did he lose interest? Is he seeing someone else? That's when the game flips. That's when the attraction resets. Step 3. Respond without emotion. When she comes back, here's what most guys get wrong. They wait for her to return. And when she does, they pounce. They reply too fast, too enthusiastically. They pretend like nothing happened, but their energy screams, please like me again. Don't do that. When she reaches back out, and trust me, she often will, your response should be neutral, calm, non-attached. You don't bring up the silence. You don't punish her. You don't ask what happened. You just respond from power. Keep it short, warm, but not too available. Think of it like this. She left the table. Now she wants back in. You don't slam the door, but you also don't beg her to sit. Because in this moment, the shift is happening. You're no longer the one wondering. You're the one being wondered about. Step 4. Let her earn your energy again. Let's say she starts texting consistently again. She's trying to re-engage. This is where you set the tone for the future. You don't jump right back to where things left off. You don't pretend her distance never happened. You raise the bar. You protect your peace. That means slowing the tempo. letting her initiate more, responding when you have time, staying focused on your own goals. The message becomes clear without you ever saying it. Access to me isn't free, it's earned through consistency, respect and clarity, and that energy, that boundary. It makes her see you differently, not as a guy who chased, but as a man who knows his worth and moves accordingly. The big picture. This isn't about her, let's zoom out for a second. Reverse psychology, when done right, isn't about her. It's not about getting her back or making her regret it. It's about revealing your true self-worth. It's about showing, not telling, that your time, energy and presence are valuable, that you don't need validation to feel enough, that you don't chase what's not chasing you. And ironically, that's when people start chasing you, because confidence that doesn't try to prove itself is magnetic. Detachment that doesn't feel forced is rare, and a man who lets go without resentment, unforgettable. So the next time she ignores you, let her. And while she's trying to figure out where you went, you'll be busy becoming someone she'll never forget. Stay calm and unbothered. Why emotional control is your superpower. Let's cut through the noise. In a world where everyone is reacting fast, loud, emotional, the man who stays calm becomes unstoppable. It doesn't matter if she ghosted you, if she suddenly started acting distant, if she tried to provoke a response just to test you. The moment you let her shake your emotions, you lose. But the moment you stand tall, grounded and unbothered, you win. Quietly, completely. Let me explain why. Emotional control, just leadership. Every relationship, whether romantic or not, is looking for leadership. Not control, not dominance, but direction, stability, trust. And trust me, you can't lead if you can't stay calm. When you get triggered by small things, her late reply, a dry message, a mood swing, you show her you're unstable. And instability is unattractive. It signals weakness, it screams, "I'm ruled by my emotions, not my purpose." But when you respond with calm, when you don't let her moods dictate your mindset, she feels safe, she feels curious, she feels drawn to you, because calmness is rare, and rare things are powerful. The test always comes when you least expect it. Let's say you've been talking to a girl for a while, it's going well, she seems into it, then suddenly she pulls away. No reason, no drama, just colder energy. That's the test. And it's not about whether you send the perfect message or say the right thing. It's about what kind of man you reveal yourself to be under pressure. Do you spiral? Do you chase? Do you send angry texts demanding answers? Or do you take a breath, recenter, and keep living your life with purpose? Because the man who doesn't flinch when others get flaky, that man becomes the standard. Calmness creates curiosity. Here's the psychological truth. People expect reactions, especially women, especially in dating. They expect you to overthink, to push, to prove yourself. So when you don't, when you stay chill, playful, composed, that breaks the pattern. And suddenly you become unpredictable, not in a chaotic way, but in a controlled, magnetic way. She starts thinking, why isn't he reacting? Why does he seem so okay? What is he focused on? Who else is in his life? And boom, curiosity turns to interest. Interest turns to pursuit. All because you didn't take the bait. You chose peace over panic. Calmness heals. You first let's step away from dating for a second, because this isn't just about women. This is about you, your peace, your mind, your future. Emotional control is the difference between success and sabotage, A man who can't manage his emotions will ruin his own relationships, his own business, his own momentum. Hell, lash out at people who didn't deserve it. Hell, burn bridges he could have built empires on. But the man who breathes first, the man who pauses before reacting, the man who can sit with his frustration instead of unleashing it, that man becomes trusted, respected, powerful, because people feel safe around calm energy. And when you become the calmest person in the room, you become the one who others look to when chaos breaks out. Calm doesn't mean indifferent, it means in control. Let's clear something up. Being unbothered doesn't mean you don't care. It doesn't mean you feel nothing. It means you don't act out of impulse. It means you've trained yourself to stay still when everything else feels shaky. Think of it like this. Your emotions are like weather. You can't always control when it rains, but you can control whether or not you leave the house with an umbrella. Calmness is your umbrella. It's what keeps your day dry when life tries to storm on you. And when you walk through those storms, confident, composed, unfazed, people can't help but admire it, because everyone else is soaked. But you planned, you prepared, you stayed centered. Practical ways to build your emotional control. So how do you train the simple practices? Daily reps, mental muscle. Here are 5 to start with. 1. Deep breathing. When triggered, 3 seconds in, hold for 3 seconds out. Do it before replying to anything emotional. 2. Delay your response, never reply to a triggering message right away. Let your logic lead, not your emotion. 3. Journal your reactions. When something pisses you off, write it down. Vent on paper, not people. 4. Train physically so you control. Emotionally exercise teaches discipline, and discipline, calm. 5. Rehearse calm responses. Mentally visualize getting ghosted or provoked and imagine yourself staying calm. That's how you build your emotional armor. Final thought. Calm is the new alpha. You don't need to be loud to be respected. You don't need to win arguments to be powerful. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone. You just need to be in control of you. That's what makes you rare. That's what makes you a leader. That's what makes her rethink ignoring you. Because when you stay calm and unbothered, you show her what emotional maturity looks like. And nothing is sexier than that. Detach from the outcome. The freedom of not needing closure. Let's talk about something most people don't want to hear. You don't need closure. You don't need the long paragraph. You don't need the truth. You don't need the apology. You don't need her to explain why she ghosted you. Because guess what? Closure isn't something you get. It's something you give yourself. That's emotional detachment. That's freedom. That's your next level. What does it mean to detach? Detachment doesn't mean you don't care. It doesn't mean you walk around cold and heartless. It means you've accepted this one brutal, liberating truth. The outcome is never guaranteed, but your peace can be. You stop tying your happiness to how things turn out. You stop needing things to go your way in order to feel whole. You detach from the outcome because you're more committed to your growth than to how someone else responds. That mindset, that's what separates boys from men, the illusion of closure. Let's be real, when someone ghosts, you disappears or gives you mixed signals. You want answers, you want clarity, but why not? Because it helps, but because you want to feel in control again. You think that if she just explains herself, you'll stop hurting. You think if you just get that one last conversation, you'll be able to move on. But here's The hard truth, closure doesn't come from her response. It comes from your decision and waiting for her to give it to you. That's just giving her more power. So instead of needing closure, create your own. Say to yourself, this chapter is closed even if it ended mid-sentence. Her silence is the answer. I don't chase explanations. I choose understanding. I don't need closure to walk away with confidence. Why detachment is so powerful. When you detach from needing a certain outcome, something shifts inside you. You become unshakable. You stop overinvesting in people who underinvest in you. You stop trying to control what was never yours to control. You stop breaking your own peace to chase temporary clarity. And in that space, you start showing up differently. You start walking into every situation with an open hand, not a tight grip. You start attracting people who respect your calm energy, not just your effort. You start living from abundance, not anxiety. And that energy, that's what people feel. That's what women feel. A man who wants her but doesn't need her, that man is dangerous. The shift from needing to choosing. Most guys walk through dating hoping to be chosen. They try to say the right things, text the right way, avoid mistakes, all because they're terrified of rejection, of losing the opportunity. But here's the new paradigm. You don't need to be chosen. You need to choose yourself the first always. When you detach from whether or not she chooses you, you start noticing how you feel around her. You start evaluating if she aligns with your values, your pace, your peace. It's not just about winning her attention, it's about asking, does this feel healthy? Is she showing up with the same intention I am? Does this serve the man in becoming? And if the answer is no, you walk without needing drama, without needing closure, without needing anything. You just move forward. How to practice. Outcome detachment daily. Here's how to build that detachment muscle. 1. Ask what's in my control every morning. Journal it. Focus only on those things. Let go of the rest. 2. Never confuse effort with entitlement. Just because you showed up with honesty doesn't mean she owes you consistency. 3. Create without expectations. Send the message because it felt real, not because you need a reply. 4. Meditate on worst case and best case scenarios. Stoics call this premeditatio malorum. Visualize the silence, the rejection, then realize you'd survive it just fine. 5. Celebrate letting go. Every time you don't react, you win. Every time you stop refreshing your inbox, you grow. Every time you let someone go without bitterness, you level up. Final truth, you don't lose what's not aligned. At the end of the day, you only lose what was never truly yours. You never lose respect by walking away. You never lose value by detaching. You only lose when you cling to what's trying to leave. So next time a woman pulls away, let her. Not out of spite, but out of power. Because of the man who can let go without resentment, without begging, without explanation, that man is free. And freedom, that's the most attractive energy in the world. So what do you do when a woman ignores you? You don't panic, you don't chase, you don't spiral. You rise, you shift the focus back to yourself. You build your body, your purpose, your peace. You let go without bitterness. You stay calm. You detach from needing an ending to start a new beginning. Because this journey, it was never about her reply. It was about you remembering who the hell you are. You are not here to be shaken by someone else's silence. You are here to become unshakable. And when you do, you stop being the man who waits. You become the man who leads. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever been ghosted or ignored and turned it into fuel for growth? What helped you shift from chasing to choosing yourself? What part of this video hit you the hardest? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk. Let's learn from each other. Let's build a community of men who lead with emotional strength, not reaction. And if this resonated with you, don't just keep it to yourself. Like, share and subscribe for more real talk like this. Because this isn't just about dating. It's about mastering your emotions. And when you do that, you don't just win her back. You win yourself back.